Hi, my name is Amy Mozzie, and I'm with Centurion Boats. And today I'm going to walk you through the all-new 2026 Centurion Nv233. This boat is 23 feet 3 inches long. It accepts 14 passengers and has as much as 5,000 pounds of ballast in it. Let me tell you a little bit more about it. You know there's something special about the Nv233 when you see this Centurion coming at you. The bow is wide. The lines are chiseled and very aggressive looking, but it still has a sleek Centurion style to it. And if you're at the dock and this boat's pulling up and you happen to be there at night, you hope that your Nv233 owner opted for the docking lights. These docking lights are ultra powerful. They're 2,400 lumens a side, and they are bright. As we come around the side of the bow of the Nv233, we can see even more chiseled lines that give this NV its signature look. However, they're not just beautiful. They have a purpose. The purpose is to make the hull more rigid. There's less flex in it, which causes less vibration, which makes the ride quieter for you. The boat is just stronger the more of these lines that are added to the hull itself. You also have the style of the windshield. The cropped Centurion windshield also has great style to it. It complements the aggressive lines of the Nv233. But there's purpose to this windshield as well. It's wingless, so I don't have to stand up to talk over that windshield wing when I'm coming back around to pick up a fallen rider. I can also reach out and catch myself as I'm coming into a dock, or I can put up my optional bumper cleat just by reaching over the gunnel. I don't have to stand up and reach over the windshield to apply this safety device that really keeps my beautiful Nv233 safe. You can customize the cool of the Nv233 with your color selection. This boat is available in the core color scheme, and the main panel of color on the boat can be any one of 37 different gel coat colors. This particular color is brilliant purple metal flake, and it is awesome. You can also customize the base color of the boat, which is on the very bottom of the hull and the top of the deck. That can be one of 18 different gel coat colors. You can make this boat all your own. Not only can you customize the look of the Nv233, you can customize the performance. If you opt for Ramfill, you can fill more than half of this boat's available 5,000 pounds of ballast in 90 seconds. The way that works is there's a scoop mounted in the bottom of the hull that will let water be rammed into it when the boat is underway, anything below 15 miles per hour. And if you're going just about 14.9, you'll get to fill these big, huge, tooled-in enclosures that are mounted beneath the floor as far as the tanks go in 90 seconds. Once your ram fill is full, you will have that signature wave Centurion is known for. As we come further down the side profile of the Nv233, we start to notice some other cool functioning items. What I mean by that is the fuel fill. Normally, wouldn't think twice about a fuel fill, but there's one just like it on the other side of the boat. So no matter what side your tow vehicle fuels on, you can pull into the gas station, fill up both your truck and your boat, and be on your way. The other functional piece of this side of the boat is going to be fresh air vents on the back corner. These air vents get fresh air to the engine, but they're also beautiful as well. And they look this way because they were specially designed by Billet Industries, and they also house the standard pull-up cleat. So you get two functions in one vent. That pull-up cleat is one of 4 that comes standard on the Nv233. You can add an additional 2 for a total of 6 cleats. And these cleats are used to tie your boat off to the dock. And they're really big, easy to pull out, even easier to push in and put away. They're beautiful. My favorite part about this area of the boat has to be this billet gold anodized 50th anniversary badge. It is also made by Billet Industries, and it signifies Centurion's 50th year of existence. We started in 1976, and we're getting ready to start our 50th year of building these beautiful boats. I love this piece of the boat because it's lit and it shows off what we are all about as far as an enduring company, and we're ready for another 50 years. The 2026 Centurion Nv233 is built on the Opti-V Hull. This hull is made to maximize your rough water ride and make the best surf waves and wakeboard wakes possible. But really, what it does is it changes the running attitude of the boat. It displaces more water with less weight because it is a deep V, but because of the triangular lifting pads on the rear corners of the running surface, it creates lift at the back of the boat. That gets the nose down where the most aggressive part of the V can cut through the chop, but it also makes the running attitude of this boat very, very level, even when it's weighted to surf and is displacing the entire running surface. And it's creating that wave behind the boat that's extremely long as well as super steep. Or it can be really mellow depending on how you adjust your QuickSurf tabs. Your QuickSurf tabs will take the water that's being displaced by the Opti-V hull and transform it into a curl. It'll do this by putting the QuickSurf tab down opposite the surf side, creating lift, and displacing the surf corner to create the curl. When you want to switch it from side to side, you do that with one touch of the Evo screen or one push of a button on the knob ops, and you can transfer that surf wave to the opposite side. This happens really fast, like in under 2 seconds. And that's possible because of the Linco rams. And this year for 2026, those actuators are actually smart. They speak to the CAN bus system of the boat and reflect the position of the rams and the QuickSurf plate at the dash. And that reflection is super precise. It tells you exactly where that plate is positioned, so you know just how much you need to adjust it to get the wave that your rider needs. And once that wave is achieved, they're riding the best they ever have behind a Centurion. But like any surfer, eventually they're going to fall. What happens when you're going back around to pick up that surfer and that big water that you just created behind the boat starts to come into the back? Well, we've thought of that too. Specifically, the transom of the Nv233 is designed to knock down that roller that comes from the wave that you've been created. That way, water is never going to come into the back of the boat. You've got that peace of mind no matter what in an Nv233. We've thought of the fact that because the transom of the boat comes up at the top, that the swim step could be hidden a little bit underneath that piece of the boat. So what we did is we extended the swim step itself, made it about 3.5 inches longer, so you have plenty of room to get up onto it, to stand on it, to sit on it, anything you need to do without compromising that swim step. The Silent Stinger wake plate is an option on the Nv233, but what does it do? It changes the running attitude of the boat. When the plate goes down, it puts the bow of the boat down, deeper into the water, cutting through the chop with the most aggressive part of the V. When the plate comes up, the bow comes up, and it puts the back end of the boat deeper into the water. Normally, that's so that you can make a steeper wake or wave. But the silent part of this Silent Stinger wake plate is really its true benefit. It takes down the engine noise, especially on the inside of the boat. How it does this is it forces water through the bottom of the plate. That water tumbles through a series of baffles with the engine exhaust that is also ported into the plate. That takes the engine noise down to really low levels. In fact, at the observer seat, it's about a 75 decibel level. That's the same as a kitchen dishwasher. So you can have an inside voice conversation with everyone in the boat all day long. As I get up onto the swim step for the NV233, I really appreciate the additional length. It's got 3.5 extra inches on the edge of this swim step, so I have plenty of real estate to step around. And it kind of rolls off towards the back edge, so it's going to be easy for me to get up onto the swim step, especially when I grab on and pull myself up with the tooled in handles. I can also get an optional ladder on the NV233 if I want to get up as gracefully as I possibly can. But once I get up here, this is a big Sunpad. I mean, it's a 23-foot boat, but this Sunpad seems like it belongs on a much larger Centurion. It looks super comfy, but it's also got great storage. So I can put my stuff away, take a seat, and be really comfortable. And when I'm ready to walk into the boat, I've got this great walkover, so I'm not stepping on my cushions. I have access to my pop-up pylon back here, so I can tow a skier or a tube behind the boat. I also have an available transom remote that's accessible back here, but really, I can just hang out and lounge. I can throw a towel out, lay out if I want to, just hang out and be me. As I walk over the Sunpad and into the NV233, I realize there's a great path to get into this boat. And when I step in, I don't step down on my rear seat. I step on this fiberglass piece with GatorStep on it, so I'm not putting any undue strain on my seats, which is nice. I really worry about that. Not because the seats can't take it, but because it just doesn't feel right stepping in. And what if I had shoes on? I never want to do anything that might compromise the longevity of the interior of the boat. Although this interior is pretty tough. It is made of vinyl that is extremely resilient to the rigors of water sports use. So this vinyl has a 17 mil top coat. What that gives you is guarding against abrasions and staining. It also has 3 different densities of foam. And the foam right on the underside of the vinyl is super cushy. And then the foam in the middle has a little bit more give to it, less than the top layer, but a little more than the bottom layer, which is extremely rigid. So it has great bounce back. If I was to step on it, it would bounce right back. And it lasts forever. I swear this vinyl is super resilient, but maybe even stronger than the vinyl is the thread that holds it all together. It's a Teflon thread, and it's sewn in such a way that the high stress areas are sewn multiple times. You'll see in our interior that the really high stress areas are typically on the corners of the cushions, and that's where we put a French seam. The French seam is sewn 3 times. So it's 2 pieces of vinyl coming together, and they're sewn at their joint 3 times. You also have a half stitch, which will go in less strenuous areas of the interior. That's sewn twice. You'll be hard-pressed to find an area of the boat where 2 pieces of vinyl come together with 1 single stitch. It just doesn't happen. That's why our interiors last as long as they do. They also look beautiful. This particular vinyl scheme, or upholstery scheme as we call it, is the all hex scheme. And hex refers to the texture of the vinyl. And it's got kind of a hexagon raised texture to it. It gives it a different look, a little bit different sheen, and it also helps it dissipate heat better because there's more surface area to this texture of vinyl. But this particular scheme is beautiful, and we've colored it with whisper gray on the base. We've colored it with stone on the main. There's a stone welt, and the thread color is white. You can customize all of those things, and it has a white accent as well. We've got 16 different colors of vinyl, a couple different textures. You can even get Cool Touch vinyl in the NV233. It's all how you want your boat to look and feel. You can even match the GatorStep to the colors that you choose for your vinyl. The GatorStep comes in a number of different schemes. This one is a 2-layer Centurion cut. There's shark fin on the top and silver cloud on the bottom, but it really complements this upholstery scheme well. You can also custom match your side panels. The side panel is a gel-coated fiberglass part, so it's really just like the exterior of the boat itself. So you can color the side panel the same as the exterior of your boat if you choose. This happens to be brilliant purple metal flake, and it's beautiful. But if I wanted to, I can make the side panel green. I could also customize the colors of my speakers. The white speakers really work well with this particular design, but I could also do black speakers in my side panel. I've got 4 cup holders, grab handles, a Centurion Warrior badge. It all looks good in the NV233. The 2026 Centurion Nv233 comes standard with the DropZone auto tower from Roswell. This tower is beautiful, and it adds another custom element to the boat, but it's also extremely strong, and overall, it is functional. It allows for you to fold this tower automatically, electronically, with really just a button press. You press the arrow that points forward, the tower will come down on the lounge side of the windshield. You press the arrow that points back, and the tower will come back up. And once locked into place, this thing is solid. I mean, it doesn't move. It doesn't matter if you're on the lake on a really rough day or towing your boat on a super bumpy road. This tower is stout and it's going to stay put. But you can also customize the look of the tower. It already looks beautiful. It's made to go with the lines of this Centurion boat, but this tower can also be customized. I can customize the tower shields with 37 different gel coat color choices. I can also custom color the tower itself, either white or black. I can add racks to the tower. The racks that are on it are Bombshell 2.0 racks, and they can accept as wide as a 23-inch surfboard, and they keep it safe. There are no pressure points in those forks to dent your board. We know you've invested a lot of money in those custom surfboards. You can also add a bimini, like the So Long bimini, to this particular tower, and the So Long almost covers the entire lounge of the NV233. This boat is a big boat. That bimini is even bigger. You can also opt for a number of different stereos in the NV233. The stereo that's on this particular DropZone tower is the 12 Warriors Duo. It's a pair of 12s in the DropZone tower. They sound amazing. And as a part of this system, you also get a XXX 12-inch subwoofer in a box that's specially designed to maximize the low-end sound or the bass of the system. It looks great, the box itself, but it sounds even better. It adds about 7 decibels to this sound system on the low end, which is an enormous amount of additional sound. You can do what you want with this DropZone tower. It does just about anything you need as far as fold and look good and stay strong. The driver's area of the NV233 is extremely comfortable. The Cobra Racing seat is really comfortable because it kind of hugs you, and it's got a high back, so it's got a lot of support, and it swivels, so I can swivel into the lounge and have a great conversation with everybody that's in the boat with me. But if I need to turn quickly and just see a rider in tow, I can do that by throwing a leg over the side and then making sure they're okay. I could swivel back around and get my eyes back onto the water to give them the best pull of their lives. But I also have a lot of control with this area of the boat. I have control with my knob ops. My knob ops gives me stereo control really easily. So I can turn the volume of the stereo up and down with the knob, which is great. But I can also advance the song. I can play a song again. I can move to a different album or a different playlist, all with this knob. And I don't have to take my eyes off the water to make those adjustments. I can also switch my wave from side to side through the knob ops touch panel. So I can go to goofy, I can go to regular, I can go back again, real easy easy without having to put much focus on that panel. I can also control a ton through the Evo touchscreen. My Evo touchscreen has an 8-button navigation on the right side, and it gives me access to every system in the boat. It starts with just the general information about my engine, my miles per hour. I can also change it to RPM, or I can have a look at whether or not my zero off is on or off. And that is my speed control. It gives me all of that information up front. The standard engine in the NV233 is a 5.3 liter ZZ5 from PCM. This engine is super torquey. It's got 400 foot-pounds of torque. And part of that power that it creates comes from the fact that it has a 2-to-1 gear reduction and a 17-inch prop. What does that mean to you? It gives you great pull out of the water, so you can pull up your rider in seconds. And it also gives you a lot of efficiency. It's a direct injected engine, so it's really economical on fuel, and it's precise, so it's very quiet. Even when you're fully loaded surfing and underway, you can have a normal conversation with your passengers. If I go to the surf screen on my Evo touchscreen, I can see, is my QuickSurf enabled? Is my Quick Launch enabled? Can I surf left or right? Do I need to switch sides? Where is my Stinger wake plate positioned? All of that information is available to me on the surf screen. If I go to my ballast screen, I can see all of my ballast areas, and the NV233 can have as many as 6 ballast areas. 2 of those could be Ramfill. Ramfill are the big tooled-in tanks that are beneath the floor of the lounge, and they can be filled in as little as 90 seconds. But the rest of the ballast areas, the other 4 that are available in this boat, they are pumped. And this year, they're a part of the Fast Mover ballast system from Seaflow. Seaflow has given us a pump that is 13.5 gallons per minute. That means this boat fills up almost as fast as I can say it. It is really quick. It's 68% faster than it's ever been to fill the ballast in the NV233, and it's all because of that Fast Mover ballast system. If I go to my maps or my navigation, I have the option to put a Navionics chip in this dash so I can see the layout of my lake. And we have maps for the US and Canada, as well as most other countries, and you can load that in here. I've also got a switching screen that allows me to control all my lights, my heater, including my docking lights, my underwater lights if I have those installed. And this boat has RGBW installed. What that gives you is every color in the rainbow. So I can customize the color of all my lights, and I can custom color each zone. So if I wanted to make the interior lights one color and the tower lights another color, I can do that. I also have stereo control in the Evo screen. So my stereo control includes things like source and Bluetooth management. I can control my volume. I can even control the different zones of sound I have in this system. I also have access to all of my rider profiles. So there are 4 factory set rider profiles that come in the NV233. I can customize any of those 4 profiles, and I can add as many as 32. The great thing about adding profiles in the NV233 is if I'm using a factory preset, and my rider is back there, and all of a sudden I made a couple changes. Maybe I adjusted my speed, maybe I dumped some of my ballast, maybe I changed the position of my Stinger wake plate, and all of a sudden my rider is just killing it, going off, doing better than they've ever done before. Then I can hit save as, and I can save the boat settings exactly as they are, name it for that rider, and he'll have that until the day he's not riding anymore, which we hope is never. And you've also got access to all of your system settings through the Evo Dash. So it gives you everything you need. But let's face it, when I'm underway, when I'm pulling a rider, I don't always have time to focus on that screen. The great thing is the NV233 gives me the option to still make changes to my system without ever taking my eyes off the water or my hands off the steering wheel. And I can do that with the sport shifters. The sport shifters are the paddles that are behind the steering wheel on either side. On my right side, I can adjust my set speed, my zero off speed. I can pull the top paddle towards me to increase the speed or pull the bottom paddle towards me to decrease the speed. On the left-hand side, I can give the boat more stinger wake plate or less stinger wake plate, depending on how I want to shape my wave or wake or how I want to change the running attitude of the boat. It's that easy, and I never have to take my hands off the wheel or my eyes off the water. I can also put my phone here in this clamping wireless charging cell phone holder, and I can always have quick access to that as well. The dash area for the NV233 gives me full control. The Centurion Nv233 is a 23-foot boat, and it's rated for 14 people. And it needs to be able to house 14 people's stuff. It also needs to be able to house trash, the type of trash that 14 people can make. And luckily, it can. In the walkthrough trash chute, I can throw all the trash away I want, and it's out of sight, out of mind. And those 14 people aren't just hanging out with their trash. The NV233 has a very large and accommodating interior, but probably no area as large as the observer seat. The observer seat, which we sometimes call the OB, is a really big seat. In fact, two people could sit here together, and they've got access to 3 different cup holders, their sound, their tunes. They've got a speaker right next to them. They have a lot of storage behind this lean back as well, so we can make sure everything is put away. And there's locking storage here in the glove box. And you can put your valuables away as well as have access to our battery management system. This system isolates the 2 batteries that come in the NV233. One is reserved for house functions, which is stuff like lights and stereo. And you can use that when you're just floating or swimming out in a cove. The other is reserved for the engine. It's the engine's cranking battery, and you need that to start the engine and get back home or to the dock. So by isolating the 2, I can use my one battery, the house battery, with my stereo and my lights, and always have the peace of mind that I've still got all the power necessary in my engine battery to get me back to the dock. What you'll also find in the glove box is our PDM switch panel. This is a panel that houses all of the on-off switches for every PDM in the boat. Sometimes you can have a technical issue in which the PDM needs to be reset. Always consult with a technician before adjusting or switching on and off the PDMs, but sometimes this can get you out of a jam even if you're out on the water, and you have easy access to that switch panel here. You also have a power point in this glove box, and you have the ability to charge your batteries here. So the battery charger has a plug that you can plug into here as well. You've got all of that functionality in this glove box, and it locks so it can keep your valuables safe as well. The Centurion Nv233 is a 23-foot, 3-inch walk-through open bow, and it has a wide bow and, consequently, a wide walk-through. When I go through, I don't have to shimmy through the walk-through. I can easily walk through to the bow, sit myself down in this comfortable space, and feel very pampered. I've got cup holders, I've got power points to charge my cell phone, I've got speakers, grab handles. I have a filler cushion that makes this bow into a playpen style bow, and plenty of room for a friend. This is a great place to sit in the boat. You know, in a lot of towboats, people love to sit in the bow, but they often get bounced around when they sit up here, not with the NV233. Because of the Opti-V hull and the fact that this boat loves rough water and gives you a smooth ride anyway, this is a great place to sit. I hope you've enjoyed learning about the all new 2026 Centurion NV233. This boat is as amazing as it sounds, but don't take my word for it. Visit your local Centurion Boats dealer and let us prove it to you on the water today.